Hello, RCSJ. This is George Guy, the president of the Media and Broadcasting Club. And this recent health crisis has caused us to change the way we do many things, including the way we will vote in the New Jersey primary. Here to tell us about that is Gloucester County Superintendent of Elections, Stephanie Salvatore. Thank you so much for joining us. And can you please tell us what we need to know about voting in this primary this year?
Well, the number one thing right now, what we're looking at is voter registration. So if you are not registered to vote, you have until Tuesday, June 16th, which is next Tuesday. It could be postmarked that day. You can scan it and send it to me via email. Right now, because of the pandemic, my office is open though, but mail, if you just get a postmark by June 16th. So number one, register to vote. But according to Governor Murphy, his executive order 144, he said the primary election, July 7th, will be all vote by mail election. In the state of New Jersey, we have a closed primary, kind of a semi-closed. A primary election is really kind of more of a party nomination election. So the primary election is open to Republican voters and Democrat voters because that's who the state of New Jersey recognizes. Being said, every registered Republican and Democrat will be mailed a vote by mail ballot, which I believe the county clerk is sending out this week. So you should expect them in your mail by next week. They're sending them to the address that you are registered to vote. So some of the kids maybe live off campus somewhere. They're not going to get them to their campus address. They'll get them to their home address where they are registered to vote. So they will be getting a vote by mail. However, if you're a registered unaffiliated voter, which a lot of first-time voters are unaffiliated, they're not associated with the party, they've never voted in a primary election, an unaffiliated voter will receive a vote by mail application. With that vote by mail application, you will be asked if you want to vote by mail, number one. Number two, if you do, you must declare a party. Again, it's a party nomination election, so in New Jersey, you have to be one or the other to get that ballot. If you choose not to do a vote by mail, there will be polling places open in each community. You can check that on the New Jersey Division of Elections website or on my Gloucester County page to see where you're registered to vote. You will be getting, I'm sending out bright yellow cards that will say you vote here. In most towns, it's the municipal building. So on election day from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night, if you're unaffiliated only, and you don't want to vote by mail, you can go to a polling location. However, you're voting on a paper provisional ballot. Due to the pandemic, the governor didn't feel it would be safe for hundreds of people to be touching a touchscreen voting machine. Even cleaning it, just being in a closed area and touching it after a lot of people, the governor didn't feel that would be a safe way to have this election. That's why it's going to be all by paper. So either unaffiliated, you can vote by mail, or go to your polling location. However, if you're Democrat or Republican, you will be getting a ballot in the mail by next week.
Okay, all right. And how late can someone register to vote in the primary?
You can register up until 8 p.m. on June 16th, which is Tuesday. So as long as it's postmarked that date, that's fine. And if it's emailed to me sometimes before midnight on that date, I'll accept them also.
Okay. Nice. So let's go ahead to the November election, and what's the age requirement to vote in the fall, and what's the deadline to register?
So the deadline to register for the fall, as of now, is October 13th. So that's and honestly, with the federal presidential election, the governor can't change that date. That's one date that can't be changed. When we had Hurricane Sandy, it was the week before a presidential election. And even though a lot of New Jersey had a lot of problems and polling places wiped out, communities were wiped out along where the ocean is, and the election still goes on. So right now, November 3rd is the election. October 13th is that deadline to register to vote for that election. With that being said, you have to be 18 by November 3rd. So as long as you turn 18 by the 3rd of November, you are eligible. So some people think, oh, well, I'm not 18 by the deadline, October 13th, but that's not with this. It's November 3rd. You must be 18 by November 3rd.
All right, perfect. And can you just reiterate again? How can someone register? How can someone go about registering?
As of now, voter registration drives are happening everywhere. You can call my office. I'll mail you a form. I can email you a form. You could go on my page on the Gloucester County website and you look up elections and superintendent of elections, and it will say forms, and it'll be your voter registration. You can print it out. It doesn't cost anything to mail it. Most municipal buildings, when libraries open back up, libraries usually have voter registrations. But I think in all the years that I've been here, what I see more than those paper voter registrations now is driver's license. We're directly connected now with the motor vehicle agency. So if you have a driver's license or you are getting your driver's license or changing, chances are we have already your voter registration.
Interesting. Just some crazy stuff with this pandemic. And is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No, I just would like, I want everybody to vote. And it's so important for younger people to vote because in every election, and not just a presidential, this year there's a lot going on, and we can see now what politicians are in charge of, what the governor's in charge of in our state, what the president's in charge of in our country. But even more important, in all elections, every election we get really low voter turnouts, and unfortunately your younger people they don't really listen to the younger people as much because younger people don't vote. So a politician will listen to maybe, that's why they do listen to maybe the older groups or the senior groups or the veterans, because they're older people and they tend to vote. So we need young people to vote, and not just this election, every election, even if it's your local school board election or your township mayor that's running, your county freeholders, your U.S. senators, and it's really important. Take time to learn the difference. I mean, I'm a political science major from Rowan University, so I did take a lot of political science, and I'm not saying people need to take political science, but to understand how these politicians are controlling everything, every way we live, the stores, the air we're breathing, the streets we're driving on, if we can go to the beach or not. So it's really important to really look at the candidates and see who your feelings resonate with, and really do a little research with voting, but more importantly, vote in every election. This year especially, but every election is just so important.
Strong message right there. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And this is George Guy, Gloucester County Superintendent of Elections, Stephanie Salvatore. Please stay safe, everybody, and have a great one.
Thank you. You too.